Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 112th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. The team I'm in today consists of Brotherhood member Killer B, who has bought the Rome Brutio faction. Then we have myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Rome SPQR faction. And then we have Brotherhood member Pompey, who has bought the Rome Brutio faction. And then a Brotherhood member Odin, who has also bought the SPQR faction. So there's our team there, full of good players. I think Pompey and Killer have been in the Brotherhood now for probably over 7 years, and are quite senior members of the Brotherhood now. And I think that Odin is one of our newer members to the Brotherhood. He has recently changed clans, but in this particular battle he was actually in the Brotherhood, and he's a really good player. So there's our team there, full of experience and really good players. Should be a great game. And here is the other team. We have RTW player Indy, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. Then we have Core Danny. Then we have Titans Mohammed, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. And then we have Core First Prime, who has also bought the Scipio faction. So there's the other team there, full of experience and some really great players there. Just going to pause the game for a second here just to talk about the other team. As you can see here, we've got First Prime. Now he actually founded the Core clan in the early days of Rome Total War, and was a very experienced player. And as I say, he formed the Core clan. To start off with, they were a CWB clan Warbelt clan that played 12,500 money, and then the CWB rules changed to 15,000, and they became successful 15,000 K players. And then eventually the Core clan then changed to 31K, and are really good players. At any of those monies really. And as I say, the Core clan is a very old clan on Rome Total War. They've taken a break for about 18 months from RTW, but it's nice to see them come back onto RTW, because they're such good players to see there. And we have both Core clanmen Danny there. Danny was one of the original members of the Core clan, a very experienced player, and one not to be taken lightly on the battlefield. And then we have Indy on the far side there, and he's a very experienced RTW player as well. So all in all, this got the ingredients to be a great battle. You've got experience on both teams here, so I'm hoping this should be a classic to watch. At this very early stage of the battle, on our left flank here, you can see that Brotherhood member Odin and Core's First Prime are exchanging pilas there. I think First Prime was always well known for his aggressive attacking methods on the battlefield, so it wouldn't surprise me if things started off on this left flank. There's a general, if you like, overview of the battle there, seeing the armies looking up at each other. I just thought I'd pause the game here for a minute to let new players see what a testudo looks like close up. As you can see, this is a real formation that the Roman army used to use, and if you see there, it's given them really massive protection all around that formation there. Very difficult to break. As you see, the shields on the top protects against projectiles coming in, and the sides and the front protect against ordinary enemy attack. So testudo is very effective, and it is used quite widely on RTW as well because of its protective qualities there. As you can see here, they're on the left flank here, things are starting to warm up a little bit. Here, I just thought I'd show you a testudo being formed here. Once again, newer players watching this, you might find this interesting. You can see how they form up. And then see the shields starting to be made of, to make that formation that effective there. I just thought that's something a little bit interesting for newer players to see there. And also, obviously, when the unit's in testudo, it gives it even more protection against enemy pilot hits there. You can see there was a Brutii cavalry hit there in on a testudo unit there, and it's pulled back. Now, after getting the full charge bonus, before any damage done to their units, they then pull back. Meanwhile, over on the right flank, here, you can see there's not actually a lot going on at the moment. Quite quiet over on that flank. Just a bit of pilot exchanging going on there. As you can see, Danny is in front of my army there, and he's skirmishing a little bit with my forward pilot units there. Let's say both Danny and First Prime in the Core clan, they were both well known for their aggressive attacking tactics on the battlefield. But as I say, the Core clan has taken about an 18-month break from Rome Total War, so they're probably feeling a little bit rusty, but I'm sure that, as you see in this battle, the skill is still there for them. There's a testudo in action. There you are. Let's see the SPQR testudo there being attacked by the enemy Scipii infantry. Can you see here that both armies here on the right flank have got their cavalry poised, almost ready to attack at any moment? As I say, I think that's where it's going to kick off here on this left flank when it does actually start. And here's another overview of the battlefield there. As I say, at the moment on our right flank here, it's extremely quiet. So, but whether it'll stay that way, we'll just have to wait and see. Most of the action seems to be on our left flank here. As you can see, Danny is starting to skirmish there with my forward units a little bit more. And meanwhile, over on our left flank here, you can see that First Prime Scipii infantry are fiercely engaging our allies' SPQR infantry there. As I said earlier, both First Prime and Danny were well known for their aggressive tactics. So actually, First Prime attacking here doesn't really surprise me. Remember, if you're the attacking force, very often you put the defending team on the back foot, and they have to react to you attacking them. So I think that's why First Prime always like to be the attacking force there. He kind of likes to dictate the battle, if you know what I mean, making the enemy react to him. As you can see, he's got most of his infantry now engaged against our allies' SPQR army there. And as you can see, First Prime is now charging his cavalry in. 6 units, and bang, as they hit in there. 6 units, 6 cavalry units getting the full charge bonus there, straight in. And now our SPQR ally is counter-attacking with his cavalry. He got 6 units as well, and they hit 6 units, 6 cavalry units getting the full cavalry charge bonus. Can you see the allies coming over from both teams there on this left flank? You can see some really fierce fighting going on there. I think all the infantry are engaged now, and it wouldn't surprise me if both teams start to send over some infantry reinforcements, as this this left flank seems to be where the action is mostly happening here at the moment. Here can you see Pompey's Brutii infantry? He's bringing a couple of units over here to the flank, probably with a view to going round the flank there. Notice new players watching this, tactical moves here, moving infantry around the flank. There can you see the Brutii cavalry charging in now. I think that's charging, and now his infantry are charging as well, probably. So he gets a cavalry and infantry hit there. And then our allies SBQR cavalry charging in, and then the enemy Scipio cavalry charging. That is one massive hit of cavalry going in there. Plus remember, all the infantry are fighting in there as well, so you've got infantry and cavalry. What a massive hit here on our left flank. See, a lot of our allies Brutii cavalry have just routed there. As you can see, I'm just bringing my SBQR cavalry in from the right flank. I'm just charging that in as well to help my allies. I've got 5 cavalry units there. I'm going to charge them straight in. And you notice the enemy pulled back their cavalry, rallied, reformed, and then charged back again to get the full cavalry charge bonus yet again, and bang! See those massive cavalry hits going in there. You see those couple of Brutii units that Pompey brought around the flank. He's now charging in. Nice little move. They're going into the rear of the enemy troops there. You see a lot of my allies now have routed. Right, I'm just going to pause the game there for us to take stock of the situation. As you can see here on the left flank, there's a lot of action going on, and I think it's all in the balance at the moment here. There's units routing from both teams there, and it's as I say, it's really in the balance there on the left flank. As you go further on up the battle line, you can see it's quite quiet in the centre. There's not a lot going on in the centre. They've just sent reinforcements from both armies over there, and over on our right flank there's not a lot going on there either. A little bit of skirmishing, but as I say, it's quite quiet. The main action at the moment is over on that left flank. You saw the massive cavalry hits going in there. Plus, remember, all the time in amongst those cavalry hits, the infantry are fighting away. So let's see what happens next. As you can see there, the enemy cavalry have reformed, ready to charge in again. Always remember, you reform, charge in again, you get the full cavalry charge bonus as you hit. Stay in there for a few seconds and then pull them back out again, because you don't want to stand around waiting for the cavalry to countercharge you. You don't want fresh cavalry charging into your cavalry that are already fighting. You just want to charge in there, hit, pull out. You can see a lot of the veterans here are doing exactly that. But you can see on this left flank, it's very, very going one way, then the other. I see units are routing from both armies here. And there's another massive Scipio cavalry charge going in. And bang, as that cavalry hits. You can see our allies, Brutii cavalry, are counter-charging. There's more enemy Scipio cavalry going into the fray. And then all of a sudden, did you see there that cavalry hit our allies, Brutii cavalry hit that enemy SBQR cavalry, the enemy Scipio cavalry at an angle there, and has routed a heck of a lot of the enemy Scipio infantry there. That was a nice little angled cavalry hit there that went in from our allies Brutii cavalry. As you can see there, a heck of a lot of the enemy are starting to rout. If you notice that once several units start to rout, it kind of triggers other enemy units to rout in what we call a chain rout, or a mass rout, if you like. The panic kind of spreads through the whole of the enemy army, and then the units start to rout, as you've just seen there. As you can see, the enemy have sent over reinforcements from the centre, as we've sent them over as well. And meanwhile, over on the right flank here, it's just been very quiet. Not a lot going on here on the right flank at all so far. But on that left flank, it wasn't an overwhelming victory, I don't think, for us. I think both armies there were severely weakened. If you notice, a lot of our Brutii allies that were there are severely weakened. There are a lot of battle damaged units there. There was another nice little cavalry hit there, I think, from Pompey's Brutii cavalry there. Took out an enemy general there and routed the units around that general. Remember, if you kill the enemy general, then you lower the morale of the enemy troops around him. I'm just going to pause the game for a second here for us to have a look at the dead over on this left flank. Now this shows how intense the fighting was just on that left flank. Can you see all the dead there? What a mass of dead. Just to show how tough the battle was on that left flank. Can you see that one Brutii cavalryman there? Just amongst all the dead, all his dead colleagues and all the dead enemy troops there. Just stood there on his own. That just goes to show how tough that battle was on that left flank. Unbelievable the amount of dead that are there. And now the our victorious allies now are moving over from left to right. As I say, it wasn't kind of, if you like, an overwhelming win on that left flank. The units that we've got left are severely battle damaged. So it's not like it's going to be an overwhelming force coming over from the left. It's going to be a lot of battle damaged, tired units coming over. Let's see what happens next. Remember, the enemy are the red Julii and the blue Scipii army, and our allies are SPQR the purple and the Brutii the green. Just for new players watching, sometimes knowing what colours belong to which team sometimes helps there for you to be fully aware of what's actually happening. If you notice here that Killer with his Brutii army are pulling them back a little bit. And if you notice that Pompey with his Brutii infantry and cavalry there are moving out to the left flank there. So at the moment I think both teams are starting to reform, if you like, their armies. This reminds me of a stage 1, stage 2 battle, if you like. If you like, this is now we've moved on to the stage 2 of the battle. Well, everybody is reforming. And if you like, just taking a breath, because those allies of ours, those Brutii allies of ours on the left, I think they're mostly very tired units. And as I say, they're very battle damaged too. So there's an overall picture of what's happening. See, Pompey would probably like to move his cavalry out to the flank there, so that when he engages the enemy Scipii infantry, he'd be able to charge his cavalry into the flank. I think that would be his thinking there. Meanwhile, over on our right flank here, you can see the enemy Scipii infantry are attacking fiercely our allies' Brutii army there. The enemy may well be thinking if they can break our right flank there, that would give them an extra chance there. If they could just break that flank, that would probably help them a lot, because then they could then turn their victorious troops onto our centre. So I suppose that's why he's attacking so fiercely there. There's some close-up fighting shots there. If you notice very tactfully and skillfully how the enemy Scipii generals bringing units around the flank. Remember, new players watching this, it's not all about fighting in the front line. Bringing units around the flank, or preferably even around the rear of the enemy, is great, because attacking the flank and rear of any enemy unit will give you an advantage. If you notice, he's attacking, like, if you like, head on to hold a lot of the units there, while he moves those units around the flank. See, there's still units with pilers left. Can you see the pilers still being exchanged? It's unusual for this at this late stage of the battles for their units to still have pilers left. Usually they've been used by now, so it's quite unusual to see there's still pilers left. As you can see, my SPQR army are now engaging with both the Scipii and the enemy Julii army here. Now while I'm doing that, if you notice that Pompey, using great tactics and skill here, is moving his infantry around the flank of the enemy. Notice he's got his cavalry ready to hit. Nice little move there by Pompey, and now he's going to charge his cavalry in. Probably a little surgical hit. Bang, rout a unit. Don't hang around too long. Bang, he's routed the Roman unit. Done the damage that he wants, got the full charge bonus, and pulls his cavalry out. Do you see that? New players watching that, remember, charge in, get the full cavalry charge bonus, do the damage you want, and pull straight out. Don't tangle with infantry for too long. Okay, if you tangle with enemy infantry too long, you'll end up probably being the loser there. Meanwhile, over on our right flank, you can see the enemy Scipii army are now being extremely aggressive against Killer Bee's Brutii army there. As I said, probably with a view to try and destroy our right flank if they could, and then send their victorious troops over to the centre. But I would think that Killer's experience and skill there will manage to hold that. If you notice that I've just taken some SBQR units through the middle of the fight in there, and have brought them into the rear of the enemy Julii infantry there. There's a heck of a lot of my SBQR infantry fighting the Julii infantry there. If you notice, I sent some cavalry in aiming at the general there. Did you notice I've hit the general and now has routed that enemy general there, and the morale of the enemy troops around him will probably start to drop. And it wouldn't surprise me now if that units there started to rout. Meanwhile, over on our right here, you can see some of the enemy Scipii units are starting to rout now. And as I say, over here on the left, after that Julii general was killed, did you notice that all the enemy units there started to rout? They were surrounded anyway, but when the general was killed, their morale will have dropped, and that would have caused them to rout. We can now bring our troops over from the left onto the right here to attack the final Scipii enemy Scipii units that are left. And there you can see there, our team has managed to win this battle now. Yeah, and we're just routing the last few of the enemy. I'd just like to look at the battlefield once again. I know we've already looked at this, but if you look at this massive kill zone here over on the left flank, I mean, that is amazing, isn't it? All the dead that you see there. And we move into the centre, there's hardly any dead in the centre at all. And then when we move over onto the flanks, you can see once again big bunches of dead over there as well. So it's a kind of a strange game, really. Most of the action was on the flanks, with the centre not being much involved with the action. Right, the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to both teams there. I thought the other team played extremely well. Lots of skill, lots of experience being shown there, and they played as a really good team. I'd just like to say really well played to Odin, Pompey and Killer. I thought they played extremely well in this battle and proved to be great teammates, and a great teamwork and a great movement and really good tactics shown by them, as great tactics shown by the other team as well. It's nice to see so many experienced players in one game. These days you don't see so many veterans in one game as what you see here. So that was a really great game to see. As I say, Core Clan have been out of RTW for about 18 months, so they might have been a little bit rusty, but from what I saw in that game, I thought they played both really well, as did their teammates. I hope you enjoyed watching this battle. This is Spartan Commander saying good to see you, look forward to seeing you soon, and bye for now.